New moon in Virgo. Yes, you heard me right. New moon in Virgo. Yes, it was new moon in Virgo last month too, but this one is a little bit different. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. We are going to set our intentions. We're going to hear about the energy of this time and this cycle, and we're going to go through the days of the month. We're going to go through our new calendar. If you haven't got it yet, it was in your email. It will also go out in the replay video. So if you're catching this on the replay, check your email because it will be in there for you, and it will give you the calendar for this new moon to our next new moon in November. It has all of our moon elements that we'll be going through over this next 4 weeks. And it will also tell you some shifts in the energy for Mercury retrograde, when it's going direct, our full moon, and all the goodness. So I'm excited that we are having this new moon in Virgo/Libra, and we'll get into that in just a second. So it appears that this was not the best day for everybody, which I completely understand. It's a Friday night. I get it. There's things going on, and I am here as your guide, as your leader, to walk you through this month's energy and this month's lunar planning. So it will be a little bit different than we've done in the past, simply because it's me. It's just me. So which is fun. So what I'll do is I'll go through our normal process as we usually do. And then what I'll do is I'll let you know throughout our time here to pause and take your time to answer the questions or take your time to do the thing, whatever it might be, and then to come back, and then we'll kind of go on. So I will put some pauses in here in our video, so that way, you're not just seeing me sit here twiddle my thumbs. I was like, well, I could just sit here and twiddle my thumbs, but I want to make this as efficient for you, and making sure that you're still getting everything out of it. Obviously, the only drawback is that we won't be able to take questions live. However, if you do have any questions, simply email me, message me, text me. Any way that works best for you. Instagram is always fun. Facebook Messenger, text is always cool too, or simply email. I'm open to all the channels. Just let me know if you have any questions, and I can answer them in our community, in our Align to Amplify Instagram page. Have you guys been over there yet? I can tell you that I haven't posted too much over there just yet, as we're kind of getting everything going. This is exciting for me. This is actually our first official Lunar Planning Call in Align to Amplify, and moving forward, it will be for Align to Amplify members. People can still join if they are not part of the community. There's just a fee, obviously. And so if you do have any friends that still want to come to this, but maybe not be part of the community, let them know. If they want to join the community, invite them. We still got the founding member special for just a little bit longer. So I mean, $47 a month is not a bad deal. Plus, you get the extra perks of the lunar returns. I hope you guys got those and got to read through those. And then we have the coaching and everything. We have some power planning that is coming up in the next couple of weeks. I'll tell you what that's about. Not power planning, power hours. Something that I used to do with an old coach of mine, and I used to do it with some of my colleagues, and it's great. It's a great time to kind of just get together and really have some focused energy. So I'm going to be putting those out, as well as our next training dates, where we're going to start talking more about astrology, more about our natal charts, and really understand those more. One of my goals right now is to make sure that all the Align to Amplify community members do have their natal chart read by me first, so that way they have an idea of what we're working with, so that when we start doing our trainings, you'll be able to refer to your own natal chart and ask questions from there, because I want to make sure that it is relevant to you, and I don't just want to kind of pick some random stuff. I want to make sure that you're understanding your own natal chart, can read it for yourself, and then be able to, know how to then take into the next steps, which is then how to look at the transits of what's currently happening and how that relates to your natal chart. Not to overwhelm you, but that's just kind of like the first step, right? So for those of you that are like, let's get into the natal chart stuff, like we'll get into that. I just want to make sure everybody has their natal charts read. At least the founding members have their charts read, so then that way we can kind of move into that. So expect that in the next month or so, for those trainings to start coming out, where I'll be doing them live, and I'll be putting a schedule out, and all that good stuff. So the best way to stay connected to all the information is going to be currently right now through the Instagram page. So if you're not following the Instagram page, it's Aligned to Amplify, and it is strictly community members. So in that group is only the people who are following that page are only Aligned to Amplify community members. The page is also following only community members. So it's a way for you guys to connect on Instagram. It's a way for you guys to find each other, to connect with each other, to also it's private. So only you guys will be able to see that content. So I did want to make sure that I noted that before we got started, so you knew where to go. And this is the first time I have you guys like all together. Well, separately. All right, so let's begin as we always do in our lunar planning calls. I'm moving and my camera's like, where are you going? What are you doing? Keeps going out of focus, so sorry for that. I'll try not to move too much, but I don't know, I was listening to like some good music right now. I've had a great day, and so it's been like I can feel like my energy really high. So let's ground ourselves in. How about that? So go ahead and get into a comfortable position where you can just sit for a moment, as we begin by taking in a deep breath through our nose. Hold it for just a moment and release. Once again, inhale through your nose. Hold and release. And one last time, inhale, hold, and release. Already beginning to relax, to let go, and to step into this present moment. Feel into this moment, letting any thoughts of anything that has happened throughout your day, or even may be happening, just allow that to fade into the background as you come into this present moment, here now. And let's go ahead and set the intention to really be here for this time, for yourself, for your goals, for your commitments, as we get really clear on what it is that we want to create in this next 30 days. Be open to receiving whatever it is that you need to hear today. And you might even think of something that's been weighing on your mind. You may be wanting to make a decision about, or gain some clarity on. And just set the intention to receive whatever it is and to be open to hearing it. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. Hold and release. Inhale, hold, and release. Last one. Inhale, hold, and release. When you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes and come back into the space, back into the room, feeling grounded and centered and present in this moment, and ready to set intentions as we learn about this new cycle. All right, my friend. So let's go ahead and begin, as we always do, with our reflection. Now remember, reflection is a part of planning, a part of setting intentions, a part of manifesting, a part of stepping into what it is that we want, because we need to know where we've been. We need to know where our hiccups are. We need to know what worked. What are we doing that's working, and what are we doing that's not working? And sometimes it's not conscious, right? Sometimes we can't think of it, or we don't know what it is, and so we need to maybe reflect back and kind of see like what happened, or what went wrong, or where was I challenged, to see the patterns, the unconscious patterns, the autopilot that we tend to get onto, and break from that, right? That's what this reflection does. And so go ahead and grab your notebooks or a piece of paper of some sort, a writing utensil, and let's go ahead and begin with our reflection. So I'm going to ask you just to take a moment to reflect upon the past 30 days, this past lunar cycle, on what you were able to accomplish, what you were able to do. And remember, like, of course, we're always going to go to what we didn't do, but I want you to really focus in on what were you able to accomplish. And it was like, hey, I was able to do this one thing, then that's what it was. If, I was able to get my emails out every week, perfect. Or I was able to, take some time to relax, then that's what it is. Or, I was able to start this project, then that's what it was, right? Um, Focus first on what you were able to accomplish, because I know you want to go straight to what you didn't do. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up some questions here that I wrote down. And then what I'm going to do is ask you to go ahead and pause this video now. Take some time to answer these questions. I generally give you guys anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes to do this, sometimes a little bit longer, up to like 10 minutes or so. So just maybe set a timer for 5 to 7 minutes, maybe even up to 10, and just take some time to think about this. Take some time to answer these in as much detail as you possibly can. Allow your mind, if you feel like, I don't know, what did I learn? Like, just allow yourself to sit and just keep asking yourself that question. What did I learn? What did I learn? And see what comes up, right? Remember, be open to listening, be open to receiving whatever it is that your mind wants to tell you. So go ahead and pause the video now as you answer these questions. All right, so now we are back from answering our reflection questions. And our last question was, what are you ready to let go of today? And I want you to take a look at what you wrote down for that. What did you write down for number 5? What are you ready to let go of today? Because I think sometimes we hold on to things and we carry it from month to month, day to day, week to week, year to year, and we don't release it. We don't let it go. And so what I want to do right now is walk you through a process to help you let go, to help you release it. Because my friend, there's no reason you should carry this any longer, because all it's going to do is keep you where you are right now. And we need to make space, right? If we want to manifest something, if we want something new to come into our life, we need to make space for it. I was once told a story about a lady who wanted new curtains in her home. She actually wanted new furniture. She wanted like the whole 9 yards, really to change up her living room. And so the coach told her, well, if you want something new, you got to make space for it. And she was like, I can't just get rid of my couch. And he was like, well, then how are you going to get a new couch if the old couch is here? How are you going to get new curtains if those curtains are there? There's no space for it. And she didn't trust him at first. But then she thought about it for a second. And she was like, you're right. If there aren't any curtains there, I'm going to have to do something to get new curtains. And so she trusted herself and she trusted him. And she got rid of all the furniture in her living room. Everything was completely empty. And the next week, this coach came back to visit. And he walked in and she was so happy. Her furniture, the curtains, were brand new. She had created the space for it. And although she didn't think she needed to, she did. And exactly what she wanted appeared. When we create a vacuum, it wants to be filled, and it will. So let us now take a moment to let go of whatever it is that we're holding on to that is not serving us, so that we can create the space to move on, to move forward, and to receive whatever it is that we do desire to have. So go ahead and take a quick note of what you wrote for number 5. All right, go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to bring up that thing that you are ready to let go of. Within your mind, see it now. The thing that you are ready to let go of. And there may even be multiple things that appear, and that's perfectly fine. Bring that to your mind's eye now. And just take note. Take note of it. Notice how far it is, or how close it is. Notice the color. Is it black and white? Is it vibrant colors? Is it dull? Is it a picture, or is it like a movie where there's different scenes playing out? Are there any sounds that go with it? Is it really small and you can barely see it? Or is it so big that it takes up the full screen of your mind? And as you become the observer, I want you to now imagine that up on a screen, like a movie screen. And you're sitting in the theater, and it's so far away from you now that it's as if it has kind of left you. And you're just observing it from a distance. And you might even imagine now a blank screen. And as you see this blank screen, you decide that it's perfectly okay, that there's no need to recall anything at this point with that blank screen. And there's a sense of peace and calm, a sense of expansion, anticipation that something new is coming. And it is perfectly fine to have this blank slate now. Go ahead and open your eyes and coming back to this time as we start to learn about our new moon in Virgo energy. So this one's a little bit different. So as I was saying, last month we were talking about new moon in Virgo. Now the only difference is this new moon in Virgo was actually at 29 degrees. So let's retrack a little bit. Each zodiac sign goes from 0 to 29 degrees. And so as the moon is transiting through the zodiac sign and it gets to the end at 29 degrees, it transitions into the next zodiac sign. So it's equally all around the sky, 29 degrees, okay? So, and we think about that, 29 degrees, it's actually 29 degrees, 29:59, so it's like 30, like right at the, like 29, but it's basically 30. So, but there is no 30 degrees, okay? So it's like 29:59 or 29:60, right? It's like, it's not a full 30. But if you add that up, that makes it 360, right? It goes all the way around, makes a circle. So each zodiac sign being cut up into the 29 degrees or 30 degrees, Virgo, our new moon, was actually at 29 degrees. It's actually 29:45. So 29 degrees of Virgo. So our sun and our moon, which make up a new moon, are in the same exact sign. It's like it's covering it. That's why we can't see it, right? The sun is on, it's like on top of it, so to speak, right? And so it's blocking our light of the sun, right? When we're in full moon, it's reflecting it, right? It's behind it. So it's like a reflection. But new moon, they're right on top of each other. So it's covering it. So it's dark, right? But they're in the same sign. They're exactly in the same sign. So they were both at 29 degrees. So they're both at the very, very end of Virgo, which means this energy is slightly different because last new moon, we were at the very beginning of Virgo, right? The sun had just moved into Virgo. Now the sun just left, as of now, as I'm recording this, the sun has already left Virgo and is into Libra, where our moon moved out of Virgo quite a long time ago. So it's like they hit it and ran, right? Like they just got in it, like they just were wrapping it up and it's like whoosh, they flew out. So the energy that we're going to feel this new moon, even though it is in Virgo at the 29 degrees, we're going to feel the influence of Libra, which is the next sign, the next zodiac sign, right? Because it's like it was right at the edge of that. So this season, we're moving into Libra. So although our new moon was in Virgo, we are going to feel this energy of Libra because we are moving into Libra season. So although it is Virgo, it's like I want to be really clear that there is still the energy of Virgo, but there also is this pull with Libra. So let's kind of talk about Virgo and Libra, and then how those energies are combining for this cycle, okay? So Virgo is our sign of, it's our earth sign. It's actually a mutable sign. And so this is like the, this is kind of like change. This is where we see service, we see day-to-day routine, we see health. Virgos is all about systems, structures, like processes, how we kind of navigate those things. So Virgo rules the 6th house. So if we remember I should have brought the image up, but I can do it on our, let's do it on our, um, where is our whiteboard? Let's do it on our whiteboard. Okay, so on our whiteboard here, let's get rid of those questions. All right, so let me, I'm going to tell you guys right now, my drawing is probably not going to be the greatest. So let's do my best here. So as we remember our natal chart, our charts, right? We have it broken down, right, into the 12, the so not good. There's probably another one here, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's another, well, that didn't work. Let's try, let's just clear that because that is not, it's not, it is not working. All right, let's do that. And let's do, how can I break this up? Let's see. We have our ascending there and we have our, all right. And so in here we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. My houses are not divided equally. Bear with me, guys, sorry. All right, so remember down below, we have our, let me pull this guy here. We have our, this is our ascending line here. So we have ascending on this side, descending on this side. The house that we're looking at is 1, 2, 3, 4, right here. Yeah, the house, the 6th house. It's right here. So we're gonna, this little piece of the pie. This is the 6th house. And so 6th house is right before we go above the horizon. So this is still a very personal house. All right. And this is why it rules, let me go ahead and type in here, daily routine. This is why, this is us. This is service, right? How we serve others, right? Serve others. This is also health in this category. So this is all Virgo. This is the house of Virgo. And so with the house of Virgo, right? 6th house, let me write that in there for you. 6th house, we see these themes. Now Virgo is very detail oriented, very very hard workers. Again, it's like that, they want to be of service in whatever way, right? So you're going to see a lot of energy around these things, right? You're going to see that you probably are even thinking of some of these things right now, right? This is some of the energy that you're thinking, that you're around, or that you're in. And this was carried again from last month because it was Virgo last month, the very beginning. Now we've kind of been through some of that, or we might have changed some things, you know, in some of those areas. And now we're moving into the Libra side. So let's talk a little bit about Libra. I'm gonna pull in another color here. Oh, well, there you go. Let's change that. Let's go back to our drawing pen and let's get this. Oh, why does it keep doing that? It's so much fun. Okay, do I get my drawing tool? And let's draw, oh, no, not you. Goodbye, my friend, goodbye. It would have been way easier if I would have just draw. Okay, I'm clicking on draw. How come it's not letting me draw? Draw, select, draw. Okay, there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there we go. So this house here, this next one right next to it, this is the house of Libra. So this is our Libra. It's our sign. Libra. So Libra is a little bit different, right? Libra energy is very different than Virgo energy. Libra is about harmony, balance. It is about fairness, equality, partnerships. Because now, right, now we are moving into above the horizon. Remember, this is our horizon line. So we're moving to the houses above the horizon, which are more public. Well, that's why we see more of a, we see partnership, because now we're working with people, right? Now we're like equality for all, fairness for all. It's more, more external. where 6th house is more internal. So Libra is going to be looking for fairness and balance. It's going to be looking for harmony, peace, right? This is what we want with Libra. So when we bring these two guys together, Libra and Virgo, we get some really cool themes here. We get the theme of balance. So maybe you're seeking balance in your daily routine, maybe balance in the work you're doing, maybe more harmony in in your relationships, maybe harmony in how you're interacting with people. I can tell you that one of the things that I am involved in this next month is some friends of mine who are all we're all experts in communication, and we talk a lot about communication. We have decided to come together and talk about the conversations that we're all having right now, which are about the holidays and about, you know, how frustrated we are and how sad we are and how having those conversations are quite difficult. Am I right? You know, some of us in our families do not agree on a lot of the things that are going on right now, whether that is about COVID, whether that's about masks, whether that's about the next president, whether that's about getting together versus not getting together, right? Like everybody has different views and different, um, you know, levels of safety that they feel. And so when it comes to family, the same old is not happening this year, right? We're not able to do the traditional things that maybe we've been able to do in the past. And so for some of us, this is a little challenging, right? Because our families may not want to do something, but we want to, or, you know, we don't want to do something, but they want to, right? Like there's this feeling of like what do we do, and for some of us those conversations are really hard, right? So it's interesting because during this time right now we're trying to find the balance and the harmony in those relationships, in those communications, and we're not quite sure how to do that, right? We've never learned about communication, right? It wasn't until I started to learn about you know, not only psychology and how people think and interact with each other, but also the communication aspect of how we communicate, because we communicate in a lot of different ways with people. And so, like, you know, having these conversations and doing this work, we can kind of see how, you know, things are different. Things are not everything is right. Not, you know, not all decisions are going to be perfect, right? It's going to be harder, right? It's not going to be the same. And so that can be frustrating, and how to do that can be frustrating because we're not quite sure. So with this energy of the two, this is kind of the things that I would say you might be experiencing over these next 30 days. You might be experiencing trying to find the balance within those conversations or within your decisions of what you're doing, or even within how you're going about your own daily routine, how you're doing what you're doing, or even your health, right? There may be like, oh, I got to find this balance of like, how do I do this and still, you know, take care of myself, still do the self-care, right? It's not like an afterthought. It's like actually part of my day, or changing up our routines because, you know, I don't know about you, but have you like started to change the way you're doing things because the sun is going down sooner, right? So we're coming into longer nights, and so that changes our routine, right? That changes how we do something, and so like, you know, you might want to settle down a little bit earlier than you normally would, right? Where we were normally out till like 8, 9 o'clock at night because it was sunny. Now it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna hang out. Just gonna stay at home and watch some TV or something instead of going to the park, right? Your habits, your daily routine is shifting. And so Libra is inviting us to make those changes and to find the balance that we are seeking. So that's a little bit about what this new moon is kind of all about. Let me stop sharing that, so I can see you guys again. All right, so um, that is basically our. Just gonna pull up my notes here. That is basically our new moon in Virgo with the influence of Libra. And so I do want to talk about some of the things that are coming up. So let me go ahead and pull up our calendar. So again, if you haven't got your calendar for October, it is in your email that you got from me for this replay. Let me go ahead and pull that up. All right, so here is the October through through November. And you'll see at the very top, and I'll walk you through this so that way, you know, you're clear if this is your first time seeing it or working with the calendar. It can be a little like, what is all this stuff? Okay, so we remember we always start the week of our new moon and we go to the week of our next new moon. So that's our cycle. So this is our Virgo cycle, these 4 weeks here. And so this is this week. This is what we were in. We had Mercury go retrograde on Wednesday. So if you're having any of those, you know, technology mishaps, communication mishaps, I've had both in already this week, which has been fun. And I know that, you know, some of you have been having it. Some of you reached out to me like, oh my goodness, right? But it's good though, right? It's good that we knew this, because I think almost all of you have said to me like, oh, okay, like I'm so glad I knew, because when X happened, I knew like, oh, okay, it's Mercury retrograde, like let me just take a deep breath, you know, nothing to really like fret over too much, right? Even me, I was like, I had this situation come up with some people, and it was like, okay, there's just miscommunication here, like this is just what's happening. It's not nothing crazy, right? It's I didn't get frustrated over this tech thing, because I'm like, all right, Mercury retrograde, I'm just gonna save you. I'm just gonna take a walk. I'll be right back, right? Like it wasn't that big of a deal. Where maybe in the past it might have been, right? I might have lost my stuff on it. So we had our Mercury retrograde on Wednesday, and then today, Friday the 16th, our new moon. So some of you may be watching this when our sun has already moved into Libra, which is, I'm pretty sure is the case, because we went into Libra. Oh yeah, we're already in Libra, duh. So our sun did move into Libra tonight, even though I did put it on Saturday. It's because it's like late tonight, right? So our new season has started, right? With every new moon, it kind of sets that next cycle. And generally speaking, we have the sun move into the sign, and then we have the moon. This month's a little bit backwards, where we have the moon move in and then the sun. But this does start off our Libra season. So although, again, our new moon was in Virgo, we do have these energies of Libra. So remember, Libra, fairness, equality, balance, harmony, those are the themes, okay? All right, so that is the kind of like the main thing. Now the next thing is, you'll see we go week by week. We have all of our moon phases in here. Remember, waxing crescent can be that time where we are struggling with, like, did we set the right intention? We want to give up on our intention, our goals. We want to just say, forget it. Like our mind starts like playing with us. So we're like, oh, I don't want to do it anymore, right? And we're going to be in a water sign for these couple of days here. And this is actually Scorpio. So this is going to be really, really digging into our limiting beliefs, our struggles, the things that are causing us to stay where we are. Like we're going to be in that, and so it's going to kind of be a little bit harder. And so I want to tell you this because we want to prepare, right? We want to make sure that we know, like, okay, these next couple of days, right here between Sunday and Tuesday, within that time frame, we're going to be experiencing those feelings. We're going to be in our stuff, right? In our in the stuff like we don't like to deal with. We're going to be in that. And so know that, so that you can either prepare yourself for it by maybe taking some breaks, not putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You know, don't do too many you know, big things. If you cannot, I mean, I wish I could say if you could not work, don't work. We all can't do that. But don't put a lot of pressure on yourself to do a lot of work those days. Like, take it easy. Yeah. Okay, so then, so that's waxing crescent, and then so from our water energy. So remember the blue little looks like a little raindrop or water drop. That's the water sign. So this is a water sign, and then we move into our fire sign. And so we come out of Scorpio and we go into Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is more of our, it's a fire sign. And so the energy is going to pick up and you're going to want to do some things here. And again, remember we go from new moon to full moon is where the energy rises, 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 peak at full moon, and then the energy drops again. So as we, it's like a really good time because as we start to get out of our stuff and we start to get into some fire energy, you'll start to feel a little bit more momentum, like wanting to like get out of this, like, oh, I want to get out of like this stuckness I'm feeling, or I want to get out of these like beliefs that are coming up, like I just want to get out of it, right? You'll start to feel that coming Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we're going to move into our earth sign on Thursday and first quarter on Friday, which is where the energy really starts to pick up for us. So, and this is going to be in Capricorn, which is a really great sign of direction, of goals, of like long term, right? Where we're ready to do the work and make sacrifices now so that we can have whatever it is that we desire, right? So this weekend will be a good weekend to like do something that is more long-term based, right? Where you get into it now so that you're setting yourself up for the long term. That's what this energy is going to be over this weekend. And remember, first quarter is where we start working on the plans, right? We start, bringing the pieces together, right? Because in waxing gibbous is where we start implementing, but in first quarter we start gathering the stuff that we're going to need, like creating the plan and gathering the things. Okay, so first quarter through Sunday, and from this we move into Aquarius. We move into our air sign. So the little guy that looks like a fire is our fire sign. The little like leaf guy, that's our earth energy and our earth element. And then the thing that has like the little three little lines there, right? Those little guys are our air signs. It's like breath or air in some ways. That's what I was trying to represent there. So that's our air sign. So after Earth, we come into air, Aquarius. And now Aquarius is about community. Aquarius is about more social, about the greater good. And so you'll start to see the actions that we start doing in here are going to be a lot more in our head, multitasking. Like it's hard to focus. It's hard to focus on one thing. So, pay attention to how, remember, the energy affects everyone differently. So for some of you that are always in your head, you're like, this is normal. For some of you that might not be in your head as much, you might be more in your feeling. You might be like, oh, why can't I focus? Like that's me. Like during air signs, I tend to not be able to focus. Like I jump from thing to thing to thing. And so I know for me during air days, like brainstorming is really good for me because it's like I can just think of all these things, or bringing things together is good for me during air signs. So for somebody who tends to be more in feeling, these days can be really hard for me because it's like I can't focus, and so I have to like keep not putting myself down, not getting frustrated with myself because I can't seem to focus. Like I can work on something for like 20 minutes and then I got lost and went on to something else, and I don't beat myself up for that anymore because now I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in this energy, so I know I'm just going to be switching tasks. So I don't put anything too heavy on myself those days, and I know that I'm going to work in short bursts, right? And change. I need a lot of variety when I'm doing this. And for me, during Aquarius in particular, I do like to be a little bit more social. So I might be on Instagram more, or I might be in Facebook groups a little bit more, or I might be connecting and having conversations with people more during this time. And then we move into waxing gibbous. So waxing gibbous is where we also move into our Pisces energy as well, which is again back to water, right? The little drop back to water. And so in this water energy, we're more in our feelings. And with Pisces, Pisces rules the 12th house. So we're talking a lot of subconscious stuff. We're talking about the things, like I think I always say this, is it's the things that we haven't dealt with, where they come to like die, so to speak, right? They come to find rest in, and sometimes we can get caught up in them. And depending on, you know, your particular chart and what you have in that 12th house, some of those things may be coming up for you. So you might have some past stuff that may be coming up because it's like it hasn't been dealt with. And every time, this happens every month, like every time it seems like, why is there like this one period during the month where this happens? That's why it comes back to our 12th house, and we need to, you know, deal with it. And so this is a very, Pisces tends to, you know, take some time. So from Tuesday to part like early Friday, we are going to be in that type of energy of dealing with our stuff. So I would say this portion of the week, if you can, to go easy, go really easy on yourself. I say this also because there's going to be an aspect that our full moon is going to be making with Saturn, Capricorn, Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto, which is going to feel really heavy. So we might feel more restriction. We might feel more like a weight on us, and that's not going to be a good feeling. Right? And we're already in our stuff, and now there's like this weight, so it's just bringing us down even more. So although our energy generally will be pretty high, it is going to feel like something's blocking you, like something's weighing you down. And so this is going to be through this Pisces water sign, leading up to our full moon, so the 27th moving into the 31st. The other thing with Pisces is we're a little bit more sensitive. And so for those of us who are not in our emotions, but maybe more in our head, it's that, again, is going to be like a weird, you know, weird feeling. Remember, pay attention. This is why I say this like really often, is pay attention to the signs and what you're experiencing, because that is going to tell you a little bit more how you work with the zodiac signs, how you work each month. And that'll give you some ideas so that you can tune into that a little bit more and know, like, okay, this is a time where I'm going to be a little bit more creative, or this is a time I'm going to be like good time to brainstorm stuff, or talk to people, reach out to people. For those of you that have to, you know, do like reach out, like calls to potential clients or customers or whatever, you know, there's certain times that you want to do that during the month. And when we hit into Pisces, remember, people are in their stuff too. Everybody feels this energy, whether they know it or not. Everybody's experiencing this energy. And so they may be in their stuff and they may not want to talk to you. So although we would be like, oh, we're in good energy because we're moving up to the full moon, and this is a good time, you know, to reach out and talk to people, right? Because during new moon, people are a little bit more quiet. Maybe not, right? Because we're in Pisces and they're in their own stuff. If you're somebody who works with people through their stuff, then yeah, maybe that is something that you can help them with, right? You can help guide them through that. And so maybe that is a good reach out. But maybe if that's not the case, maybe that's not a good time, right? So just pay attention to how you feel too, because then you might be drained, right? You're trying to show up for them, but you're drained. All right, so then from Pisces, we move into Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. This is also a fire sign, right? We got a little fire guy. And fire is action. Fire is like getting into things. And with Aries, it can be a little bit more impulsive. And this is leading right up into our full moon in Aries on Halloween of all things. And so for those of you that are a little bit more on the spiritual side, this full moon is a really significant moon for us. You know, Halloween and this time of the year, the veil, so to speak, is really thin, which is the connection between the other world and this world. And so this is why we have, you know, for one, Halloween. If you look at the history of Halloween, the reason why people dress up is to scare off the spirits, is to you know, kind of like they didn't understand. And so for them, like, there was more energy, so to speak, of that. And so they, put on costumes to scare them away. And so this time, it being in a full moon, is very, very powerful. So if there's anything that you like a big thing that you're ready to like let go of, you're ready to release, you're ready to either get guidance on, or like support in, this is the time to do it. This moon is what's called a blue moon. It's like, it doesn't happen very often. It's like once in a blue moon type thing. I kind of talk a little bit more about this in the October energy guide. So if you haven't got the October energy guide, make sure you download that. I talk a little bit more. I go a little bit more into it. But I'm just going to say that for those of you that are really connected with that type of energy, you're going to feel this. They're going to feel this a lot. Dreams, those are going to be kind of funky, kind of weird, like what the, but dreams are important. They tell us things. They're insights into what's going on, not only with us, but what we're experiencing, right? Internally and externally. So that weekend, I can tell you, is going to be really intense, and for some of us, it's going to be really hard. For some of us, we might not know how to handle the energy. Let's say people who don't understand astrology or don't follow astrology, right? They may not know, and they're just influenced by this energy, and so there could be a little bit more impulsivity. This wanting to like just react, instead of looking at the situation. There may be some reaction happening here. People's energies are going to be higher, right? It's going to, I wouldn't say this isn't the most solid ground of time. So if you're somebody who like me, Taurus sun, really likes my safety and security, I'm anticipating this could be a little bit of a struggle for me, right? There could be some uncertainty for me, which is I'm not a fan of, right? So just want to give you that kind of a heads up, so that way you're aware, just like with Mercury retrograde, you're aware, and you can know to anticipate this and how to work with it instead of like getting caught up in it, right? All right, so from our Aries fire there, we move in November 1st, we start in with an earth sign, which is the Taurus. Yay, Taurus. Taurus sign. And so Taurus is very determined, very grounded. Taurus energy, though, is a lot more reserved. So it's going to be a little uncomfortable, right? Especially for those of you who have Taurus sun rising or moon. You may feel this because the energy is really high, but Taurus energy tends to be a little bit more low. So it's going to be a little bit of a battle, and you may feel this more so than anybody else. Although we all have Taurus in our chart in some place, and you may even feel this within your chart somewhere, just like with Aries. Wherever Aries is in your chart, or if you have Aries sun, moon, or rising, you're going to feel this more as well. And wherever Aries is in your chart, you're going to probably feel it in that area a little bit more as well. So with Taurus, though, we're back to our earth. So we're back to a little bit more grounding, right? We're not all up in the drama. We're like a little bit more grounded. Taurus likes to keep things comfy and chill. So doesn't really like to step out and take too many risks, right? It likes the safety and security. So it's like coming from that really high energy. It's like, it's a little bit of a relief, because it's like, okay, we're just going to ground back in, right? Which is going to be a really good feeling after that, I can anticipate. And so from that kind of energy, we move into our waning gibbous. So, right, remember, we have our full moon, and then we move into waning gibbous, and it's like where the moon so quote unquote shrinks, right, in brightness. And so the energy starts to deplete here. Now, this isn't the time where we close up and that's it. This is still the time to keep working on our goal, keep working on our intention, keep working towards our desires. Because it's still really good energy. And we'll be in Taurus, which is, we'll be able to do that, where our energy will still be good. And even moving into Gemini, which is the air sign again, right, on the 3rd, as Mercury goes direct. So right here on November 3rd, which happens to be our election day, Mercury goes direct, which is kind of a good thing, because, you know, Mercury rules, right, all the communication, technology, and things of that nature, which I'm going to anticipate is going to be pretty chaotic for us. And so this day, us beginning in an earth sign is kind of good, but moving into an air sign, which is a little bit more curious, which is like they want to know why they're, you know, we'll be thinking like, what is going on? Like there's going to be that type of an energy there. So anticipate that these, you know, these kind of few days here, the 3rd through the 5th at least, is going to be, you know, you're going to be in the mood to learn. You're going to be in the mood to like figure things out. This would be a good time to make connections on things or to learn something new. If there's something that you've been wanting to dive into, this is going to be the energy to do that. Anything that you might want to, like if you want extra reading, right? Like extra, like maybe there's a course that you bought that you haven't dived into yet, or a training that you've been meaning to take that you haven't done yet. This is a good time to do that. Also, good communication time too. Gemini likes to learn and then share. So this is a good time, you know, to communicate, to be social with people, you know, set up conversations, set up group chats, set up meetings during this time. This would be a really good time to do that. And then on the 6th, we move into last quarter. So remember, last quarter is where we like hit that little halfway point where the moon is half bright, half dark, half bright. It's like it's moving right into the new moon. So it's like we're in that middle ground, and we start kind of evaluating, what have we done? What have we been able to accomplish? Like there's a little bit of celebration that we can have here. And with it being in our Cancer water sign, so again, the drop, we move into Cancer, and Cancer here is going to show us, it's again emotional, right? We will be in the emotions, but it's more related to home and family. So this weekend, we might be wanting to be home. We might want to fix up our home, or find a way to make our home more pleasant. If we are like, or whatever home is for you. So, you know, sometimes home is this or X, whatever. Home is being, you know, at mom's house, or home is, you know, being with my family, right? Maybe it's my immediate family, whatever that might be for you, like whatever home is for you, you might want to feel like that a little bit more into that. So I tell you that to kind of anticipate, like, you know, be mindful of the activities you're doing, be mindful of, you know, what you're working on and where you're at, because it's good to know, like if somebody invites you to something and you're like, I don't know if I'm still going to be in the mood to do that, right? I don't know if it's really going to be if you're really going to want to be social that time. Maybe not, right? Depends again on you. And then finally, we move into our last week here, which is the 9th and the 10th are our fire signs. So then we're moving back into fire energy, which is the action energy. And here with Leo, it's more of creativity, creation, things that we create, right? It's the house of creation. So that's what Leo rules. And so more spotlight, right? More being in the light here. In this kind of waning, where the energy is dropping energy. So I would say this would be a more creative, like internally, not externally, right? Like, so you might not be wanting to share it so much, but you want to create it, right? You want to do the art project, do the painting, in a more intimate kind of space. So this isn't like, I want to go show it off to everybody, like we might see around a full moon, or even through waning, waxing gibbous or waning gibbous, right? Where it's like, I want everybody to see it. This is more of like, it's more personal, it's more intimate. Well, that's what we're going to want to be experiencing. And remember, other people are feeling this too, right? Not just us. So we can work with that for other people too. And then we move into our earth sign, of Virgo. We move back into Virgo before going into Libra. So again, we've kind of talked about Virgo, but Virgo systems, like digging into the details, digging into a process, a routine of how we do things. Will be in that energy, and then moving into Libra, which is the equality, fairness, peace, harmony, energy with our next new moon. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that new moon on our next planning call, but that's kind of the gist of what's kind of happening in our astrology for this cycle. This is, the moons, what the moon phases and moon elements, right? The energy that we'll be experiencing or we'll be going through. So as we kind of walked through this, there's going to be, I'm pretty sure there were some things that you're like, okay, well, I can maybe do this during this time, or this might be better to do this during here. And as you kind of start thinking about the things that you want to accomplish as we move into this, because within our next cycle, we're really moving into quote unquote the holiday season, right? Because we'll be moving into December, and all that comes with the end of November, beginning of December, and end of December, kind of the holidays, right? It's pretty much the season. So this is kind of like that last cycle before we start entering that. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about your intention, you're thinking about what you want to do in these next 30 days, is you want to think about like, okay, this is right before the holidays. What is it that, because for some of us, like the holidays, like the things within the holidays, as far as our business or our work, either slow down or they speed up, right? For some of you that, sell things that are, during the holidays, or, people want to buy for the holidays, the holiday season as gifts or whatnot, right? Like that your your time is speeding up, where sometimes a little bit more service oriented businesses tend to fade off, right? Like people are more focused. Plus, I also want to kind of note this, and we'll dive into this more in our next lunar planning call. But the holiday, quote unquote, holiday season is different than it has ever been. It's going to be different. We're already seeing people start to buy. I mean, we just had Prime Day this week, right? Where people starting to buy gifts for the holidays. So things are sooner, right? Because things are different. Plus, we're in a election year. That always changes things, right? And this is even more so with COVID and everything else that's going on. So things aren't always going to be, things are going to be as they have always been this season. And so it's good to kind of like know that that's kind of like the next thing that's coming. So if there is anything that you want to wrap up or get together before that begins, right, now's the time to start pulling those things together. All right, so let me stop sharing our calendar there. And again, if you have any questions about specific days or specific energy, or you're like, okay, I heard you say this, but I didn't quite understand, just simply reach out to me, DM me, message me, text me. I'd be more than happy to answer your question. All right, so the next thing I do want to go through, which is one of the things we generally go through, is where the moon is transiting for you for this cycle. So I'm going to go through that really quick. All right, so Miss Karen, your moon, or this new moon, is transiting the ninth house. So ninth house is the house of philosophy, house of higher education, like meaning of life type stuff. So you may be so remember the theme is the Virgo-Libra combo, right? So the theme is you seeking this balance or this equality within daily routines, health, being of service. But where this is being played out for you is in the ninth house. So this idea of like, well, maybe your service, right? Where do I fit in? How does my service fit into this bigger picture of what I'm doing with my life, right? Like how is this like feeling this meaning or this purpose that I have? Like, is it fulfilling that? Is it serving me? right? How is it serving me? Am I finding the balance and equality and the harmony that I'm seeking between my day job and my business, right? What is that? That's the energy, right? For you for this month. That's where you're probably already in it, because generally we're already sensing these things before they happen. Maritza, this new moon is transiting your fifth house. So fifth house is Leo, house of creation. So for you, again, using the theme of Virgo-Libra, seeking balance and harmony, daily routine, health, this may be maybe getting creative, maybe finding creative ways to, change up your daily routine or adding creativity. I know we talked about creativity. Maybe, tuning into that this month, and how am I creative and how can I be creative? What can I do to be more creative, right? Maybe what am I creating, right? That's another thing that when I think of creation, I don't just think of like tangible things that we create. It could be like, what am I creating in my environment, right? What am I doing to create the energy within my home, the energy within my work, the energy within different spaces, communities, friends, that I'm involved with or that I'm with, right? Like, what am I doing to create those things, and what am I creating, right? Am I creating the energy of fun? Am I creating the energy? And you might even, because Leo is also the fun one, right? So the fun one of the bunch. They like to be like the very dramatic, like spotlighted. So you might even feel that energy, like you want to be um, with your friends and have fun, or you want to have more fun this month. You just want things to be fun, right? You could even feel that. So it's like, how maybe do you create more fun in your daily routine, in your service, and in your work, in the work that you do? How do you create more fun in that, right? All right, so Miss Natalie, your this new moon is transiting your 11th house. So 11th house is the house of community, house of like the greater good. So I would anticipate that if we look at the themes of Libra and Virgo, you might be looking at, how do I balance my home, like my stuff, like my personal stuff, and the community and the service that I do and the work that I do as I serve, your clients, right? Your clients are your community basically, right? So it's like, how do I serve them, and how do I find this balance? So I know what you're currently involved in at the moment, and so I can see where this may be the energy for you of like, how do I keep this energy that I've had these past few months, right? Since we kind of came home and started working from home, how do I keep that energy as we move into this really rush type season for you, right? How do I keep that balance? How do I still have that? How do I still make this harmonic, right? How do I find this harmony still? That may be what's on your mind, or even like, maybe I need to create more harmony in my routine, in what I'm doing, so that I can keep my health, right? I can keep my health good, because I know this is a time where generally you tend to get sick, or tend to get really worn down. So it's like, how do I keep that, right? And if this is the reminder that you needed, this is the reminder. Make sure you are taking your breaks, you are keeping yourself safe, you are grounding yourself, and not getting caught up in the commotion of everything. All right, moving on to Miss Drea. Miss Drea, your new moon is currently transiting your seventh house. So this is the house of partnership. This is the house of where, like, not only partnership in life, but also in business. So this may be, if we look at it first from an intimate perspective, maybe you and your husband, right? In your partnership, you might be focused really heavily on your relationship, and what you guys are doing as a couple, right? In business, this might be other people that you're working with, right? This may be other people within your company that you're partnering with, or you're working with, or you may even be seeking collaborations with people, to do something or to partner with. Um, you know, maybe there's like within your family, even like you're looking to come together and partner on something to execute something, to do something, right? But you're seeking this partnership, this like this connection within, whether that is day-to-day routine, whether that is you know, your health, or the work that you do, right? Maybe there's some partnership that you're seeking. All right, Miss Marina, we are your this new moon is transiting your second house. Second house is all about values and money, finances. So your energy, and it's actually for you, it's on the cusp. It's like at the end of the second house, beginning of the third. So I would say around, if we're looking at themes of Libra and Virgo, and finding that balance in the daily routine, it could be looking at what you value and making that part of your daily routine. Maybe there's things that you're doing right now that they're not really filling you, but you're doing them because maybe you have to do them to earn money, and you're kind of like, I need to change something. This isn't, maybe there's something that's off, something that doesn't feel right, right? And you need to create that fulfillment, right? Where you feel valued, where the work you're doing feels valued, right? Um, yeah, I would say maybe around there, like the service that you're doing, the work that you're doing, like the value in that. Like, are you being filled by that, or is it not? Is it not? And maybe you need to figure out a new way to do that. Yeah. All right, that is it for that. All right, so now it is time to mind map for our intentions. So remember, here we look at, you know, what is it that we want to create? What is it that we want to achieve, manifest during this time, right? So we want to brainstorm some ideas on what it is that we want for this lunar cycle. So taking in all the information that we've kind of taken in over the past, you know, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. You know, what is it that you want to achieve? What is it that you want to now, like thinking of that, okay, she said it was transiting this house for me, and she talked about the energy of Libra and Virgo, and, you know, we've got Mars retrograde and we're right before the holidays. What is it that what I want to create? And remember, think about, like, what is it that what have you been putting off, right? What are you ready to implement now? What are you like, all right, now's the time to do it, right? Virgo is, you know, we're talking about this harmony and this balance. Maybe I haven't been doing that this year. Maybe I've been struggling with that. Maybe it's now the time to do that, right? Or, you know, I've been working on my routine. Maybe it's time to really amp up my self-care and focus on my health as we prepare. Like, remember, we're about to enter the holiday season. So for me, I generally like to look at how can I implement new self-care routines that I can, you know, feel into and feel good about as I move into the holidays, right? Because the holidays can get chaotic. Even this year, it's going to be slightly different, but I'm still anticipating it's going to be somewhat chaotic, right? Um, and of course with this election year. So, you know, how would your intentions be amplified by this energy of Virgo and Libra? By this energy of balance, by this energy of service, by this energy of, you know, health and daily routines and equality and fairness. Like, how can you amp that up? Like, how is your intention going to be amplified by that, right? um and then really think about what are you going to need to accomplish this? What is it that it's going to take for you to do this? Maybe that becomes your intention, right? Like, if you know, okay, I want to accomplish this, so I need to do this, right? I think last month we had Anna, who was talking about she wanted to do like so many parties, you know, during this last lunar cycle. And it's like, okay, so if the goal is the parties, maybe she makes her intention to set the routine or the habit of making calls every day, or you know, putting stuff on social media about her parties, right? Like, so it's like, you may want to look at it from, okay, if I want to accomplish this, or if I want to achieve this, like, what's the habit? What's the routine, right? Because we're looking at Virgo. What's the balance even that I need to find? I took this, it was a training, and I was reading her book, and then I realized she had a training on selling, energetic selling, which I thought was great. And I love like listening to stuff like that. And one of the things that she was saying was like, are you selling every day? And so it was like, okay, am I selling every day? And if that's the case, what does that look like for me, right? So if my goal is to sell every day, then maybe I start creating the routine or the habit of selling. And again, there's different ways to sell, but like, well, I can start looking at that, like, how do I create this new habit, or how do I make it part of my routine? So it's not separate from me, but it's part of what I do. And, for me, there's always got to be this balance in selling where I'm not being too aggressive, but I'm also not being too passive. So there's like maybe finding that balance, right? Maybe that's something of what it is. So go ahead and pause this video now and just take a moment to brainstorm out some thoughts and some ideas on what you want to achieve or manifest during this lunar cycle. All right, my friend, it is time to declare your intention. So before we do that, though, I do want to put some reminders out for you that when you are setting your intention, that you want to be really, really clear on what it is. And remember, it's one thing. It's not this and this and this. So take a look at what you've kind of written down right now. And if you haven't already, pick the one thing that it is that you want to do, achieve, accomplish, be during this lunar cycle. And be crystal clear on what it is. I think I'm just going to throw some things out like that I tend to hear is like, oh, I want to have, like, I think it was with Anna, like, I want to have, more parties. Like, well, how many parties, right? Like, be really clear. Is it 12 parties? Is it 5 parties? I think Monique one time had, I want to add, I think, like 3 team members, right? Like, specific. Or I want to focus on, I think like with Drea with 7th house, right? I want to really focus on, having these daily connections with my husband, right? Like maybe that's something that because of the 7th house, right? Or with 5th house, right? With creation, maybe it's like I want to I want to create more fun in my day, or I want to unlock my creativity, or I want to find ways to be more creative, right? Whatever that might be for you. Take a look at that and be very specific, very, very specific. If you need some help on this, reach out to me and let me know, or share. I'd love for you to share. I'm going to ask, please share it. Share your intention with me, and I can either, give you some feedback on it. I can also, send my own energy to it and help you have amplify that so that you can, whatever energy we can get behind it, right? It's the one drawback is that we're not on the live call. It does make it a little bit harder for us to use our energy together, but I want you to think about that. Think about your fellow community members, your fellow sisters here, and their intentions is, and amplify, raise them up as well. So if you have yours, feel free to share it with me. So then that way I can share it with the group, and we can send energy to you too, right? I mean, that might be a good way. All right, and then one of the things I'm going to say is when you set the intention, make sure that you're coming from the place where you've achieved it. So before you do it, before you say it, right? And remember, it's with this new moon, I declare, say whatever it is, and so it is. But you want to be in the energy of it's happened, or like feel into what that is going to feel like when it happens, right? And step into that, not the energy of like, oh, I hope this happens, or I wish, or I'm not sure, right? Maybe we're like in that, I'm not sure if this is gonna happen. Like, no, you want to be in the energy of like, this happened, this is it, it's done. Like, because you're saying like, with this moon, I declare that this is what it is. And then by saying, and so it is, it's like, and so it is, it's done. It's done. So be in that energy before you make that statement. When I used to do the new moon circles in person, for those of you that have that had come, you know that we literally would stand up, and I'd make you stand in that, fully empowered position, that stance of like, yes, you did this. Yes, and then say it. It's so much more powerful that way. So much more powerful. So if you're struggling in any way on that, just get yourself into that state. Really feel into, what is it going to feel like when I accomplish this? What is it going to feel like when I am, selling energetically every single day, right? And it feels good to sell. Like, I'm comfortable with selling. I love selling. Like, selling and me, we're BFFs, right? Like, when you're in that feeling, and then say it, right? And that's it. And again, remember, like, you can have it posted if you want as that reminder to your subconscious mind, or not, right? You can put it away and move on. Either way, whatever feels right for you. Remember that. Always do what feels best for you, what feels right for you. Um, you'll never do it wrong. You'll never do it wrong, right? Remember that. Trust your intuition. Trust yourself. You got this, my friend. You got this. I know I'm sending you so much love, so much light, and I wish you the best throughout this month. I don't want to say like I'm not going to see you, because I know I am. Because we're a community now, right? We've got some things coming up this month, as I said earlier in our call. So look out for that. Look out for some more emails. Look out for make sure you're following the Instagram, so that way, you can be up to date on all the things, and share with me your intention. I can't wait to hear. I'm so excited. It's one of my favorite times of the month, because I get to hear what you guys are working on, and what you're doing, what you're up to, and how I can best help you. When you let me know what your intention is, it makes it a lot easier for me to know how to best support you. So please, please, please let me know. I'd love to hear. All right, I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. I think this is it. This is the end of our call today. Make sure that you set that intention, that you truly, truly declare it out to the universe, to God, to the divine, and don't skip that step. It's a very, very powerful step. Trust me. Some people like to pass it up. It's like, no, don't do it. It's like it's the icing. The clarity is the first step, but it's the icing. All right, my friend, have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. Have a great new moon, new lunar cycle, new Libra season, and I'll see you around. Bye.